Good evening, folks. We are back on more Dark Tide. Joining me, of course, tonight is the cast here. And to celebrate, let me just get that wording right. To celebrate National Sisters Day, who is your favourite sister? Also, brackets, why is it Sister Stephanie Oskowski from the Father Dowling Mysteries? Father Dowling Mysteries, sorry. So yes, starting with Rowan.
Hello, I'm Rowan. I am playing Juniper, a small cat creature with lots of knives and a penchant for, dastardly schemes.
Ooh, the scheme.
I have no sisters.
So who's your favourite nun?
Look, I grew up Catholic. I don't.
Everyone has their favourite nun.
It's the Penguin from Blues Brothers.
Shall I just say Sister Act? Because it's the only one I know, I guess. And because they made us watch that film every single year in school. It was the one film we could watch in RE class.
I mean,
after, learning about the Bible for an hour and why it was totally woke or something.
Everyone loves the Bible.
And why pulling out is a perfectly safe contraceptive measure. Don't worry, girls. You don't need condoms.
Well, I mean, technically, yes, you didn't need condom, but...
Well, I clearly fucking didn't, did I? I didn't get around anywhere.
It's true.
Anyway, let us go for Eden.
Hello, I'm Eden. My character is Wraith, a Tevinter mage. And my favourite sister, I can't remember the character's name, but the nun from Derry Girls is fantastic.
Mr. Michael.
That's the one. Yeah, just an absolute powerhouse of authority and, I don't know, eye-rollingness. She's, brilliant.
Recently saw it for the first time. She reminded me of the head nun in my school.
Sympathies.
Did your character as well? Did you do your character as well, Eden?
Sorry?
Did you do your character as well?
Yeah.
Yes, I said
Yeah, I
Wraith.
did. Cool. No problem. My brain is... I'm rather sleep deprived. This will become more obvious as time goes on. Next we have Tom.
Hello. It's me, Tom. My character is Victor Overhill. Recent addition. He plays a lute badly. He's never been out of his home village where he was the son of a pig farmer or something. And he's looking to make it big in the big city. He probably won't, but, he has hopes. Now, I mean, I guess I should say my favourite sister is my sister, but I don't want to. So I'm going to lie and I'm going to say my favourite sister is actually Sister... Agnes of... St. Michael's Church of Holy Ghost Nunnery.
Nailed it.
What is it about them that makes it so good?
It's I don't know. It's just, I guess, I don't know. I made it all up. Stop asking questions. Go on to the next person.
Finally we have Shiraz.
Hello, I play Vincenzo Cabaj, a writer. Currently have been absconding from the party in a little room, I imagine, crumpling up many pieces of paper, not getting the right tone out. But when I am in the party, I summon the small dogs to help people. And my favorite sister is actually my sister. Like Tom said, I don't want to say it, but it's true. The fact is that when I was young, I would constantly blackmail her for like soft drinks and treats, always promising to pay her back, but I think I owe her like over 9,000 treats now, and I feel like at this point it would be disingenuous to try and pay her back.
That seems fair. I mean, Tom, you could have gone with Robbie Coltrane. Just saying. Anyway, so what happened last week?
Yeah. What did happen last week? What did you get Wraith to do in the meantime? Out of curiosity.
I get the
We
feeling.
were asleep.
Were you under a tub? Were you two under the tub? I think we put you under the tub.
I think it was in a bed in a pile.
Well,
Oh, yes. We used you as a mattress. Sorry. You're probably
Yeah.
going to wake up quite sore because we just literally put the two of you down, put a sheet over you, and used you as a mattress.
I can't imagine
sure, like,
anybody's
your
going to have
knee
a
was
good
sticking-
sleep on top of Wraith.
I don't remember the mattress, but
No?
I vaguely remember Ruth lying and like the knee being right in Ruth's neck. Like the
I
knobbly
remember
knees.
that, but I can't remember why.
Very therapeutic,
Yeah.
I imagine. Having knees in your neck.
Mm.
Okay.
Did either of you remember what actually happened last week?
Yes.
Some. There was, well, we started off in I think we started off directly after we'd left the village from last week, where Gemini had died, Jodie had been rescued. No, Jodie's character had been rescued.
Hmm.
Rowan had been rescued. Not Rowan. Juniper had been rescued.
There was a scuffle of like a weird group of people pretend to be Grey Wardens to get free drinks.
Yeah, because we left that village behind.
Yeah,
We came back to it later on, but
yeah.
went to this.
So we ran away from the Blood Mage in that village. Got to the new one. There were fake Grey Wardens. Ruth did some scoping. We found a child in the carriage we stole.
No, we didn't. That was in the next one, wasn't it?
Well,
It was
that
in
was
one of
after
them.
Ruth had you sprint out of that village because she decided to smooch the bride.
Oh
Sorry, he
yes,
decided to
there
one
smooch
was
of
the
them.
bride.
there was a public there was a marriage ceremony going on.
There was a shotgun wedding going on, so Ruth, in his infinite wisdom, decided that he was going to smooch the bride as she walked down the aisle.
Yeah, very theatrical as well. I was
Towards the man
impressed.
being held at the crossbow point.
Yeah.
I have to assume Ruth was still very drunk at this point.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Absolutely blitzed out of his mind.
Yeah.
It was very theatrical about it, and surprisingly graceful for how drunk he was. There was the whole, across one arm kind of thing.
Yeah, the whole sailor kissing the woman picture.
Yeah. So we quickly fled, and then we ended up in another village in which we found the child in our carriage
Yeah, because we had
Just
heard this
in a
knocking.
cupboard.
We
Yeah.
heard this knocking coming from like a secret panel, and we were like, "What the hell's that?" And we just ignored it for like 2 days straight. As we went
You always
village
check
to
the back
village.
seat. You always check the back seat.
We did. It wasn't the back seat. It was like a secret compartment in the side of the carriage.
Yeah.
There's this
We
creepy
worked
kid in
out
it with a
that
doll.
the creepy child with the doll was the Blood Mage's child that had been held ransom to make him do blood magic. And then Ruth gets this idea in his head that why didn't you get me healed by the Blood Mage, you gits? So we came up with a bit of a dastardly scheme to kind of wrap all the problems into one by collecting the fake Grey Wardens from village number 2, going back to village number 1 to repay with the child and get the child off of our hands, handing across these fake Grey Wardens who were absolutely smashed as sacrifice for blood magic to heal Ruth.
Hadn't they made it back to the first village by the time we got back? So we
Yeah.
we sort of
You got to the second village, you sent Manny to do scouting, and Manny came out and went, "They're looking for you in there, I told them to be in a minute." and Ruth had a very
Annie!
small
And
breakdown.
Ruth was wearing, I think Ruth was wearing like either Vincenzo's robes or Wraith.
Oh, yeah.
Vincenzo's.
yeah.
Has anyone told Shavaz the adventures of Vincenzo while he's been away? Like the needing to sleep in cupboards.
Yeah,
chronicle
you
snorer.
are you are a massive snorer and a serial cupboard sleeper now, amongst a couple of other things as well.
I think that's a character arc. That's good.
You've also been asleep in that bathtub for like 4 weeks. We were starting to get worried, but who are we to judge how much someone sleeps?
Well, strictly speaking,
yeah.
we did put a spell on Vincenzo to make him
Briefly,
sleep.
yeah.
For at least
He
part.
was already asleep. We just made him sleep even more.
It worked too well.
Mm.
So we finally...
When did I actually join the party? Because my character died.
Village
last
number
week.
2.
Yeah, village number 2. You were the
Oh yeah, because I was
bard.
playing. I was playing Here Comes the Bride really badly. Right, yeah, I remember. Okay, sorry, carry on.
So we go back to village number 1. We find the guys. We find the blood mage. We somehow they're all in the pub. I'm trying to get them to come to the carriage to get them out of sight so we can, kill them and use blood magic. Victor is not impressed by any of this and is trying to avoid the whole situation. The barkeep just walks out of the room. There's no one in there. So we just bring the blood mage in and he just does the
Frankie
job.
has a very awkward conversation of how big does Sir wish it?
Oh, yes.
Then, and then I keep saying Frankie. Ruth is then fully restored to all previous anatomy that they were lacking.
Including a fully repaired liver and stone cold sober.
But he was also wanted in village number 2 for kissing the bride, so we got the elf fake Grey Warden, put Ruth's clothes on him, brought him back to village number 2 and handed him in.
As
It was
the
a very
bride kisser.
lots of things happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
An acceptable sacrifice.
Because there was like 3 Grey Wardens, and so we managed to sacrificed 2 of them. We gave the elf one to the second village, and we gave the first one.
He was supposed to marry someone.
He was the shotgunner. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you left the last one to get married.
And so he's going to be married, and then he's going to be like, oh well, I imagine the Grey Wardens will have to conscript me any minute now.
Because they went to rescue him from the marriage.
any minute now.
So we quite neatly wrapped all 3 villages' problems into one little neat bow of blood magic sacrifice, mostly orchestrated by me.
You and
Ruth
Ruth were.
To be honest, I wasn't exactly stopping you. I was just saying you shouldn't. I mean, I can't do anything, but you shouldn't. Is this normal? You shouldn't be doing
his argument.
Yeah. Ruth doesn't know because he's now sober. So the response was, Juniper is just never going to say a word about it.
And I'm going to I'm not going to talk about it either. I'm vaguely disgusted by the whole scenario, so I'm just going to pretend it never happened. I mean, I know it happened, but I'm going to pretend that I don't know that it never happened.
Right.
While I think the cover story was it was all a nightmare. Don't worry about it.
You've got your jump back. Go enjoy it. Yeah.
And that I probably wouldn't have told your 2 characters at all anything, and just quietly hidden it.
It's hard to hide a leg growing back.
I mean, just kind of like ignore it. Pretend none of that happened.
That's my line as well. Just I don't want to talk about it. No, I'm not going to talk about it. You can't make me.
All right. Well, let's just carry on from there then. So,
What a mess.
we have. I think we said that you went back to the 3rd village, and that's where we stopped, and we're going to restart from there.
Because we didn't actually do much in that village. We just
No, you
arrived.
didn't. You sort of turned up. You went in, got some food.
Got
They'd
some
basically
food, got some
been
drink.
ravaged by a group of Grey Wardens coming in with little leaflets saying they drank for free. And then that was really it.
And
then
we found the child,
then
and that
found
was
the
it. And it was
tails,
like, Well, all right. We'll go back and deal with those other problems and then see what's up.
So yes, we'll go from there. So you're back at village number 3, and even though you arrive at like rough afternoon, Frankie is making the most of it by immediately getting very, very drunk and fraternising with all the women that he can, including one that quite contentedly tells him that it's her last night as a working girl, and Frankie immediately takes a massive shine to her and disappears upstairs with her.
You mean Ruth?
I keep saying Frankie, apologies. Yes,
Ruth is going to be very unhappy when
sobriety kicks back in.
I mean, again, yeah. I'm frankly surprised that he's hitting the bottle again so soon, but not because he doesn't even have anything to be that sad about at the moment.
Yeah, but got a
Perhaps
break in the new liver.
Yeah, celebratory drinking this time.
Yep.
Ah, right, I see.
Got a break in the new liver, got a break in the new other bits. So as
Amy's going to be so mad with you.
no, she's not. I know exactly how her character works. Problem is her character is exactly identical to the previous characters. I keep calling it Frankie. That all makes sense. So yes, as Frankie as Ruth has gone off to do their own thing, I will get their character name right for fuck's sake. I don't know why I've not got it right wrong before now, but anyway. Yes, I am slightly sleep deprived. Apologies. As Ruth disappears off with this girl and maybe another one, because it's Ruth, the rest of you are sort of all left in this tavern, which is quite quiet. And as evening begins to sink in, the door is immediately barreled open by a frantic villager who comes in screaming, The plants are massive! They're growing everywhere!" What do you want?
Massive plants. Wraith pulls himself up to his feet, and you can hear an audible groan of his back because he's been sleeping in weird positions and having people lay on top of him. And he paces over to the guy and says, Where are the plants?
"Oh, they're outside, good master, follow me!" And he rushes out and he points. In the distance you see what looks like a massive tomato plant just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Wraith looks back towards the table. Were we just carousing and drinking, I assume, and just relaxing? Finish up your drinks! There's action afoot again! Who knows what's going on out there? It's some kind of giant plant!
Juniper is going to take her glass of milk, smash it on the floor, and run out screaming with her knives in hand.
One for?
Just watches Juniper fly past.
I'm just gonna grab another drink, and then with tankards in each hand, sipping from each tankard, just walk out and look at the plant, going, "Huh, that's a big tomato plant you got there."
I'm gonna follow you and ask as I draw level with you, is this normal?
Normal.
It doesn't look it.
I haven't seen normal in days.
So as you're running close, you can see the tomatoes are already the size of pumpkins, and it still seems to be getting bigger and bigger.
Well, I guess this is a good thing, right? Plenty to eat.
Do they look healthy? Is there anything off about them?
They seem to have sort of strange purple sort of line through them, kind of like veins.
Okay, so probably demon.
Pretty familiar. Tainted somehow. Can Wraith walk over to one of these and sort of look at the ground that it's in and maybe poke about with his staff a little bit and try and dig up the roots of one of these plants just to see if there's anything down there?
Okay. As you get closer, you see these like massive roots, about as thick as... Well, because he's not here, but he's probably the best example, as thick as Gimli's leg.
Damn.
That's a thick leg.
I
So-
take a drink in memory of Gimli by looking. Oh, those look just like Gimli's legs. So.
Literal memory, because you're like, I'm sure he was here a moment ago. I must be misremembering things.
Can I stab it?
Yes. Where do you want to stab it?
Somewhere on the base. I just want to see what happens, really.
Alright. Stab away?
Stab away. Am I doing dex or?
Yes, Dex.
Yeah.
Wraith pulls his hands back really quickly. Oh,
The good old stab test.
I mean, I'm like
8.
I'm like 2 or 3 meters away. I'm not getting too close to it.
I just spent like the last minute looking at the wrong Discord for where the dice rolling channel is, going like, that's not our dice rolling channel. Yeah, I'm not with it. Yes, it's fine. You swing, you slice through a couple of leaves, not much else. As soon as you do that, the plant seems to stop, and you notice very thick sort of black sap starts sort of trickling out of the gap where the leaves were cut.
oh, definitely tainted. We don't want anybody eating these things.
Bad juju.
It'll be like those fish all over again. We've got to keep the idiot villagers away from this. Looks around. Are there any idiot villagers potentially gawking at?
Look at the idiot villager who came with us, who probably started shouting everything, and I'm like, please have to go.
I like the idea that the villager who came with us is just like, there. He's like the smartest of the villagers, and he's just like, yeah, we're pretty dumb.
Natural 2. As the villager who's with you is standing watching you, and he turns to you all and frantically says, Masters, should we pick them before they explode? Will they stop growing if we pick them?
He might have a point there. We wouldn't want them exploding potentially and getting seeds all over the place. Be more hassle picking them up afterwards.
We can do big fire. Put on fire. Ooh.
Well, as long as everybody stands back.
I push the villager back a bit and then kind of give Wraith the thumbs up for like set it flame.
Okay. Is everybody clear? I want to make sure Wraith has got nobody potentially in front of him. I'm trying to make sure that accident potential is low here.
Okay.
Can we go hide behind a wall somewhere? Chest high wall. It's okay, there's got to be one somewhere.
Yep, sure.
Okay, once everybody's safely away, he's going to use Fireball.
Okay, roll.
13.
Yep, you shunk a fireball into it. It starts, looks like some sort of cooking the roots. There's a mass amount of black smoke, and there's a very loud, high-pitched hiss.
Is there an odor to the smoke that's unique or anything?
It smells. What's Wraith's experience with sort of like country crops and stuff?
I think he's a city boy. I think he spent most of his time in the morgue, and when he wasn't in the morgue, it was at college. And before that, he was a boy in the town. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll just say it smells like rotting vegetables.
Okay, nothing out of the ordinary then, or nothing too out of the ordinary. Has that decimated these things then? Are they ash? Well, are they becoming ash?
They seem to stop expanding, but you notice that the tomatoes themselves are now swelling and they look almost about to burst.
Well, I don't think he was wrong about them bursting. Anybody got something to cut them off?
I'm running away, man. I've got loot and some like wooden knuckle dusters.
I could try and throw a dagger to like cut the stems.
Yeah, sure.
But probably best that you get behind the wall then, and I step out.
Wraith bounds over to where everybody else was hiding and kind of swaps places with Juniper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shall I do a dex again? 9.
You throw a dagger, it just embeds into one of the tomatoes and then seems to sort of slowly get like absorbed into it.
Don't like that.
How big are they now?
They are about the size of, what were they before? About the size of?
They were pumpkins before.
They were pumpkins before. They are now maybe double to triple the size they were. They are massive, and the skin of them looks incredibly taut.
Is it kind of drooping, or is it still growing? Because it was set on fire base.
The stem connecting it seems to be sort of drooping, but the plant itself seems to be swinging violently on its stalk.
Well, it seems like fire didn't work. Maybe we could try slowing it down with some ice.
I agree. Let's go for it.
Wraith takes aim with the staff and
Okay.
pops off. He uses chill, not frostbolt.
Okay.
Well, if I can roll a die.
Natural 1. Has anyone got dodge roll?
Yeah.
Alright, if you have dodge roll, roll dodge roll.
Yep.
By the count in
Dex.
blessings, it's only chill this time. Can't be that bad, right?
16.
Swear to God, if I have to make another character, I'm gonna be so mad.
You carry on your Bellery traditions of loving hats in video games and killing all your characters in RPGs.
3. Who says I like hats in video games?
You were obsessed with that chef's hat the other night.
I was.
So, yes, Victor does not move. Juniper jumps clear. The rest of you are all frozen to the spot,
Including myself.
including yourself. So, like, maybe up to like mid-shin, you're frozen to the ground.
Oh, no, sorry. Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna start using the tankards to start to chip some of this ice off as soon as possible.
Okay.
I'm gonna. I thought you were meant to be a wizard.
I thought so too, but I think maybe I'm getting a bit rusty.
There is a squelch sound, and a couple of the tomatoes, instead of exploding, just sort of and pull inwards, and seeds just rain to the ground. And as soon as they're barely even hit the ground, they start beginning to slowly start winding up. It's like the vines are growing incredibly quickly.
That doesn't
So,
look good.
I'm the only one free, aren't I?
Yes. There is a bunch of
Could
vines
I-
heading towards everyone else.
Okay.
No.
I have heat.
Mhm.
That is one of my spells. Would I be able to heat up the ice on them and try and like free
Yes.
them?
Yes.
Cool.
Just roll your magic.
Heat level 1. So int.
Yep.
+1 or something.
And
What?
it just plus your int.
Just
So
okay. Never quite got the hang of doing the magic spells. 9.
9. You managed to pour fire. The ice is melting, just not quickly.
Gonna keep trying to free everybody.
All right. So while
I-
Juniper does that, is anyone doing anything else?
Yeah, can I summon Mick and Mac to go find fire?
Roll to summon.
Oh yeah.
If it's the dog, I'm still doing the same.
Okay. Uh, 13. I've forgotten his name. What's the name of the big deer friend?
Oh, Steve.
Steve. Yep. You've summoned Steve, who looks at you with a kind of hi.
I look at Steve and I go, Steve, go bring fire.
Are you not gonna say, Steve, go eat those little shoots that are sprouting up?
I don't want
It's good
Steve to be. I don't want Steve to be corrupted.
Steve
It's
has,
fine. It'll be purged. As horrible as that mental image is, as soon as he goes back into the ring. Anyway.
So
For
Steve
now,
is,
it's Steve, go get fire.
Steve is charged off into the forest, and he comes back a couple of minutes later with a pine cone.
Steve, I had such high hopes for you.
In the meantime, can Wraith attempt to heat the ice a little bit more?
Yes.
Go easy with the fireballs, please.
10.
Between you and Juniper, you seem to have melted you melted enough that you can break your legs free.
kick off the last of the frost from his boots. I don't know if we should stick around. That stuff is spreading fast.
Would I be able to run around and like just start cutting them at the base, just like chopping, them all up with a knife,
Yeah, just roll dex and we'll see how it goes. Steve has brought you a second pine cone.
I'm going to unsummon Steve and remind myself never to call upon him again, if possible.
Okay. Yes, you slice at the ground, you slice through a lot of the vines. As you slice through, one of the pumpkins falls to the ground and shatters, and seeds spray everywhere, including into the wall you're all sort of standing near.
Like sort of splattered up against it.
Yep.
I feel like chucking gasoline on everything and then setting everything on fire now might be the best method.
Yes,
Don't know if
we need
gasoline has
oil
been
and
invented.
fire. We have oil, for sure. There's oil.
Alright then. Yeah.
Should just gather enough. I ask the prerequisite villager A, is like, do you have oil? Where do you store your oil?
Let's see. He goes, oil? Yeah, we've got oil, hang on. And he runs back to the village, and he seems to come back with what looks like a large... He sort of rolls this barrel towards you.
It's a small jar of vegetable oil that he brings back. I'm going to sprint off towards the village.
Okay.
Am I free yet, actually, by the way?
Yeah, I assume all of you
Okay.
have managed to break free.
It's been a few turns. I'm going to sprint towards the village.
Okay.
I guess the new guy isn't sticking around. Well, we should probably get this barrel into the middle of that area where they're growing and, well, give it what for.
We should make a circle around and then set fire to the circle and then chuck the barrel in. Keep it contained.
Yeah, that's our idea.
So I will drag this barrel of oil, like crack it open with a dagger, and just like when it starts pouring out, try to go around the plants as much as possible.
Okay. It seems very thick when you burst it open. You start pouring it all around. Are you going to try and light it? Or are you just going to like put it in the circle for now? You're muted, man.
Sorry. These vines that are growing, are they like kind of trying to wrap around me, or are they just growing while I'm walking?
They just seem to just be growing in every direction rather than wrapping around anything.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a nice circle to kind of get as much of these new plants on, maybe some onto the plants as well. And then I'm just going to put the barrel on its side and roll it towards the middle. And then while jumping out of the circle of oil, I'm going to say, all up to you now, Wraith, and just kind of run.
Okay, everyone, just get away from the area. And Wraith aims his staff and launches a fireball.
Okay.
Oh god, I dread this every time now. 19.
You launch fireball in. It lands and it catches. There's a very small amount of fire and there's a very strong smell of melting tar.
That works.
Pitch. Have I reached the village yet?
Yes. What do you want to do
Okay.
there?
Can I use my pig farming background to convince the villagers to do things that aren't stupid, or is it
like
the
what?
same chance as normal?
What are you wanting to do?
I'm gonna say, demon fruits! There's demon fruits in the fields! Get your torches, get your scythes and sickles, there's demon fruits! And other such cries of the idiot villager.
Okay. Roll.
I do have bluff, intimidate, taunt, etiquette, linguistics, and all those sorts of things.
Roll etiquette then.
Etiquette. Awareness, +5.
The rare one where it's not like dealing with aristocracy or anything like that. This is like, can you talk to the most common of common men?
Here we go. Wait, hang on. It's wrong channel. Please, please, please. Ho ho ho!
You talk to the villagers. They are all enthused by your comments. They all grab scythes and rakes and shovels and start running toward following. Are you going as well, or are you just letting them run towards it?
I might. No, I'm not going to run with them. I'm now going to run into the inn, pub, bar, whatever, and say, "We need a cask of your most flammable liquid."
Okay. Let's see what the innkeeper responds.
Oh.
Innkeeper just looks you up and down and goes, "Wait, I don't keep no inflammable liquid, not after the last festival."
Damn! I'm going to say, and I'm going to run back towards the demon fruit.
Okay. So what's let me just think. Where were we? You've kind of there's a very strong smell of melting tar, and there's a sort of circle of very small flame in the middle of this giant plant that still seems to be working its way towards you. At this point, the seeds that got into the wall, all the sort of cracks and crannies of the wall, have started spurting out of it, and the wall itself begins to crumble from the other side.
Wraith steps further back from it, looks over his shoulder to see everybody else making a run into the distance, and kind of goes, "Oh!" and makes off after them away from what's happening there.
Yeah, seems legit. What's Juniper doing?
Probably following whoever is in charge. Probably freaked out, trying to get the seeds out of the fur.
Someone's in charge?
I think it's just Wraith because he's the tallest.
Yeah.
That's usually how it works.
Yeah.
Also the voice of reason. If I see the crowd coming, I'm like, well, new guy really paid off. He's got the villagers all worked up.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yes, it's over that way. And Wraith points them over towards where the tomatoes
the
go.
crowd run headlong towards it. At this point, you notice several of them have bibs and are wielding
For
cutlery.
God's sake. Oh.
Wait, no, don't eat any of it! And Wraith kind of hobbles off after them and grabs one of them that's got a fork in his hand by the wrist. Goes, "No, they're tainted! Don't eat it!"
Oh, but there was this lovely gentleman in town who told us we could have all we eat, some sort of, damn buffet thing. Yeah, but look at them, they look so plump and tasty.
Come on, I rolled so high, man!
Still holding his wrist, Wraith gives him a backhand clap across the face. "Charlatans, man! Charlatans! Ignore them! You'll be poisoned if you eat this. This village will fall, for sure. We've come... Everything that we've left behind us is ravaged by the Darkspawn, believe me."
What? Darkspawn? What Darkspawn? This is a tree, isn't it?
They're fools, I tell you! And he calls back towards the rest of the group. "Everywhere we go, fools!"
God. I'm really starting to understand the sort of stereotypical mage in video games. It was like, "Fools! None of you understand me!" Turns out he was actually completely right and doing everything right. It's just everyone around him was such a brain-dead moron that they all immediately tried to kill him, laugh at him, think that his plan was stupid, or jump off a cliff because he said, "Look, there's water at the bottom. That's interesting. Oh, that means we must jump off."
I would like to.
Lemmings of humanity, isn't it?
Thanks, Russ.
I'd like to stand in, basically saunter up in front of the crowd, maybe like a good 10-15 feet away, and then just like shoot a lightning bolt into the sky, just to stop them in their tracks.
All right, roll
As
magic.
a sort of intimidation sort of tactic.
Right. You hurl a lightning bolt into the sky, it explodes with a very dramatic crack and makes everyone sort of jump slightly and look into the sky.
And then I go at them, it's like, you are not to eat these seeds. These plants are cursed. The only thing that will cleanse them from this land is fire and rage.
There's whispers amongst them all, including you hear things like, "Who's that then?" And someone goes, "I think it's the Maker. He threw lightning into the sky."
Shoot off another lightning bolt just to shush the rumors.
Yeah, I'll just give you that one. You just crack another lightning bolt, and more of them sort of look at you in sheer amazement that you seem to be commanding the lightning.
Like, get fire, get oil, burn these crops before they burn you.
But Maker Master, how will we eat if we burn all our crops?
You want to live?
Well, it's a bit of a unbounded question, I guess. But I suppose
Do you
so.
want to turn into weird demons with blood seeping out of your eyes and live in excruciating pain?
Well, if that's the only option, Master, then I understand it. I'm not going to go with that.
So let's just get some fire and do what we say.
And they all kind of begin to sort of you hear them sort of whispering amongst themselves, and they seem to sort of trudge back towards the village, looking quite defeated.
Master! And I crack another lightning bolt off.
Yep, they are very much in fear of the lightning, and they have ran off, and they are all running off to try and find some oil.
Where am I now? Am I still at the village?
You're still in the village, yes.
Have I heard any of what Shiraz's been saying?
No. You've heard the lightning bolts go off in the sky, but that's about all you've heard.
Damn, that's kind of annoying. So... Sorry, go.
Are the roots kind of like making towards the village? Or are they still
the
in
roots
that?
are very much making towards the village, yes.
Basically, I'm gonna ask Wraith and Juniper to like collectively help me in keeping the roots at bay, like just kind of not letting them advance beyond a certain point.
Alright.
Yeah, I can run around like chopping.
Is there a blacksmith in the village?
No.
Alright, I'm going to go back to the pub. I'm going to say, what drinks do you have?
Oh, we've got some lovely wine. We've got a lovely shipment of Old Farmer Brown's best ale, although I don't think it's his best really. Last season's was a lot better. And sort of looks around aimlessly. He goes, "We've got that one bottle of that green stuff that salesman sold us. Do you like green drinks?"
Do you have any spirits? Any really strong stuff?
No,
Perhaps.
We don't like ghosts here.
Do you have any liquors?
Well, you know, if you pay him enough, I'm sure a lot of girls will go upstairs. It seems your friend's taken two of them up already.
Do you have any...
We could just use Ruth's stash.
Ruth doesn't have a stash. It's gone, most of it. Either it's been drunk...
Still a few bottles of it, right?
It's probably still some bottles. They did have a lot of bottles of rum.
Do you have any very alcoholic drinks? The strong stuff.
Oh, the strong stuff. Right. The things that puts air in your chest. Oh, yeah, no bother, Master. He sort of ferrets around behind the bar and brings out a bottle of something that looks like it has something quite sinister floating in the middle of it. He goes, "There you go. It's a killer cure. It'll put airs in your chest."
A bottle probably isn't going to be enough, is it? I don't really know what else to do. My character isn't exactly great at fighting.
Do the villagers make it back for the torches and stuff
The
now?
villagers have got back. Have they found anything they can use? One of them has found a barrel of something and is rolling it towards. The rest of them are all sort of looking, going,
Milling
I
around.
don't have anything. Do you have anything? No, I can't find anything either. Oh, what about you? We could bring some wood. Oh, wood would be good. Wood's flammable, isn't it? So they all start picking up piles of wood.
Can I try and... I'm just gonna... Like... Can I just roll one of the speaky skills and just to see if I can help them along and point out, anything they might have missed, lantern oil or something? Or is that too much?
You can, yes, roll. You tell them, come on, think about it, what burns? And one of them goes, oh, I know, we've got a good stock of this. And he runs off, and about 5 minutes later you notice all of them following him, and they all seem to be running around carrying large sort of almost church-sized candles.
Sure, whatever. It'll do.
So now,
well, at least it's better than nothing, eh?
So now over by the monster plant that's still sort of making its way slowly towards the village, you have one barrel of something, you're not really sure what it is. You have several people holding big piles of wood, and you have several people holding candles. What do you want to do?
I lean over to Wraith and say, do these people... I mean, would the dog spawn be an improvement? I wonder.
Starting to wonder about this entire country, to be honest with you. Well, it seems that if things continue in the way that they are, then this will just be another one of those villages that we leave behind in, well, potentially ashes. It looks at the state of the fire in the pit or tar or whatever it is. Has that, is it actually like a low-level flame, or is it actually gone around in the circle?
It's low-level flame and it's burning all around. The tar is sort of slowly seeping sort of sideways.
Has it done anything to hold back the roots and everything going past that perimeter?
No, it's just kind of gone underneath.
Okay. Well, it doesn't look like they've brought any decent accelerants, so those candles will do a little bit, but there's probably not enough of them to stop the spread of it. It's going in every direction.
What's in the barrel, though?
Well, we should give it a try. Anything's better than nothing at this point.
What do you have in the barrel over there?
Oh, it's he sort of turns it up and then goes, I think I open this, and he pulls out quite a large crowbar and starts working around the top of it. Yep. After he's sort of done with the creaking sounds, he flips top off, and immediately a sort of thick layer of black dust flies up, and he goes, "Hey, it's that magic black dust stuff that their mage left here. We had it for them. Whatchamacallit? It's whiz bang. Bright light thing.
It's gunpowder.
Ooh, black
It's
powder,
gunpowder,
methinks.
Yes. But how do we effectively use this without destroying everything? It's like we could explode the plant, but that'd just be one thing taken care of.
I mean, if Gimli were here, what would Gimli do?
What would Gimli
Gimli
do?
would be lost in scientific talk.
WWJD. No, GD. What would Gimli do? Well, Gimli would use the candles as fuses, get them to scrounge some tins, glass bottles, anything else, stick some powder in there, stick a wick in it, light it, and run.
Yeah.
But he's not here.
He's not here.
Has anyone got an alchemy?
I have alchemy. I mean, I know it's gunpowder, and I know I can make something out of it. So
If you roll well enough.
yes. So what I'd like to do is like they've got pieces of wood and that's it, and candles.
Mm-hmm.
And some powder in a big barrel.
That's a powder in a big barrel. Hmm. I'm open to suggestions. Do we just start scooping it out and chucking it at it and setting fire to it?
No, that wouldn't actually bang, would it? It would just
It'll fizzle in the air.
Yeah, fizzle
it'll
out.
fizzle out.
Hmm. I tried to find the original guy who came over screaming about the plant, and I'm like, I tried to like kind of ask him how this started. Did you get a seed from somewhere? Did you plant it weird? How did it start happening?
He looks and goes, oh, I followed the instructions on this bottle here, and he pulls a bottle out of his coat and holds up to you. It seems to be some sort of, it seems to say on the side, Dr. Collins Miracle Grow.
Okay.
And the bottle inside looks like some sort of like 3 or 4 dots of something swirling around quite actively inside what looks like water.
Oh, is it like can I take a sniff and look at it through alchemy to see if it's like, now that we've experienced enough darkspawn, like we know what ichor smells like, the blood that they have and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
it? I just want to confirm if it's like really bad stuff or if it's just some guy who would come up with some kind of elixir.
Okay.
And I'm
Roll
using
your
alchemy
alchemy.
for that.
.22, yes. You look at the bottle itself. You sort of swirl it around upside down and notice that the things that move don't seem to blend in with the water. They seem unique to that. And as you sort of sniff it and look around, it definitely seems like it's not even darkspawn blood. It's like tiny chunks of darkspawn that have been diced up that are still active for some reason.
This Dr. Collins we need to find. But for now, I'm going to keep this bottle, and I keep the bottle with me.
Okay. The liquid also does seem to be. It seems like something else is added to it, but you can't work out what it is from just sniffing it. It just doesn't have the same consistency of water.
Ah, it's that jar of vegetable oil I was on about earlier.
That makes sense. So, what are we going to do with this barrel? How are we going to blow this up? I think if we kill the plant in the middle, it might... Is the plant still around, or is it just now all tiny plants?
It's the original big plant seems to have sort of. It's almost withered to like that, you know, sort of weird dehydrated state plants get when they go kind of properly brown and cut in. It's like that. But all the ones from that one to where you are now are in various stages of what looks like very, very quick, very heavy growth, or beginning to start turning brown and withering.
Oh, so they are dying, so...
They just have a massively accelerated life cycle, which means if we can cut them down faster than they can grow, we win. Or destroy them faster than they can grow, we can win. Even if we don't actually kill the adult plants, if we kill all of the saplings as they start growing, then eventually the adult plants will wither away and die, and there won't be any new plants to grow into adult plants.
It would also be a thing. I'm going to ask all the villagers with the wooden planks to start using them as improvised shovels to start digging all the saplings out. Just kind of like removing them from the root. I'm like, come on now, everybody, let's get to work.
Okay.
Everyone with planks, just start moving all these like kind of pots around, and then for the rest of them, I don't know, we can kind of like probably make a little mound of. We can use the gunpowder and kind of make little mounds everywhere and just make them burn.
Mm-hmm.
We have the barrel with us.
Yeah, just put the the saplings into piles, or perhaps throw the saplings onto like where the adult plants are, because they won't be able to
And
draw
then
the
just
nutrients up so efficiently.
and then just
a bit of powder and a candle.
yeah. Okay, let's do that.
Good plan.
Right. Let's just see. Yeah. You seem to somehow manage to generate a good sense of working together, and everyone slowly works together to slowly move all these plants into big piles. So all the plants are in big piles. You notice that some of the ones in the walls and stuff, they can't really be as dug up as easily, but apart from that, the rest of them are all stacking quite well.
There's probably not as many nutrients in a wall either, so hopefully they won't grow so big or as troublesome.
The only thing that you can't seem to uproot at the moment is the massive roots that seem to still be heading their way towards the village.
No
Is
blacksmith.
the source of that the massive root that's travelling, is that back at the epicenter where the original withered plant is?
Yes.
Well, I suggest if you notice that giant root still making its way over there, seems to be coming from where they originally came from, so we should probably add some extra gunpowder, blow it to smithereens.
Fair enough. We should have started. I mean, it was a barrel. It wasn't like, a small bag of it. So we should have, if we've been, putting a handful on each pile just to get the fire started, then.
Yeah. Now that there's enough fire started, let's just move the barrel towards like the thing. We ask some of the villagers to help us carry the barrel over. And in true fashion, since I'm back now, I shall summon Bruno to try and dig a hole.
Right, roll to summon Bruno.
Please, no.
Yep, that's Bruno. You summon Bruno. What do you want him to do?
I point to the base of the roots and I say, Bruno, I need a hole about this big. And I kind of make a gesture with my hands.
Alright. So Bruno begins digging like only a dog can.
We need to prep the barrel, really, don't we? We need to. I mean, if we can, make a long fuse, that would be preferable.
Then work like one of those cartoons where we basically make a little trail of gunpowder and then kind of stuff the barrel in the bottom.
Yes, I can see that working. A nice long trail, and then maybe you can make a little spark.
And then we all run away.
Fireball.
Yeah. I've said don't look at the explosion, and that's what they're supposed to do. It's protocol.
I like the idea that we don't need the trail at all. We just hurl fireball after fireball at the base of this giant tree until one of them triggers it. Actually, having it in a hole is a really good idea, isn't it? Because it will concentrate the blast towards the roots.
It'll just uproot. Ideally, it should uproot the plant completely.
Kill the taproot, won't it?
Fingers crossed.
Okay, so has Bruno made a hole?
Yes.
So we will
Bruno
stuff the
snug as far
barrel.
down as he can. You notice that the very thick roots begin coming out towards Bruno through the hole.
No, Bruno! Keep going!
How is it big enough for the barrel yet?
No, not yet. Not yet, but it's getting there. But the roots do seem to start trying to fill the hole very pathetically.
Very pathetically.
Yes.
Okay, so that's good.
It's not growing fast enough to fill the hole faster than Bruno can dig.
Okay. That's all right.
Nervously looking down at the hole and the tendrils that are kind of coming out, Wraith pulls up part of his robe and kind of scoops out a load of gunpowder. He goes, I'll start making the trail, and starts leading backwards away, like letting a little bit out at a time, and kind of looking at everybody while thinking, like, get to a nice safe distance. Yes, we'll see how this goes.
Maybe we should make a pile of dirt. You know, just dig out like a foxhole or something, just so we don't get hit by debris when it goes off. I'm gonna round up a handful of villagers and get them to dig out a handful of just like 2 or 3 holes for them to sort of hide in for when the barrel goes off.
Yeah, at a safe distance. I am going to be helping Bruno dig the hole while also simultaneously trying to slide the barrel in. And the problem is that Bruno's digging a hole, so the barrel is going on top of him. My child,
You're going
your
to
sacrifice
squash
will not be in vain.
How
many times has Bruno copped it?
He technically doesn't die. Like
That's probably why he's so constantly angry.
I whisked him away from danger at the last moment, or so I hope.
Yeah.
Alright, so the villagers have made the most pathetic dugout. It's about maybe 3 inches deep, and although it's the right width and length that you wanted, it doesn't have any depth at all or anything to block the explosion.
Well, it's a start. I'm going to tell them, keep going, a bit deeper.
They seem to have sort of moved all the grass to one side and having a discussion about where best to put this grass, rather than actually doing any digging.
I'm going to start moving the grass, turf clumps, in a sort of like wall, not quite a wall, but just like a pile in front of the hole, and encourage them to keep digging, basically.
Okay.
Doing what I can.
Alright. So let's see, does the... Okay. And... Right, okay. So, let's say Wraith has got to a safe distance. Are you going to Victor's bunker, or are you going further back? Where are you going?
Further back, towards the nearest kind of houses, cover, anything big that would really block the blast. He's kind of trying to make the trail, as much as he's managed to scoop up, like a few meters worth, I guess, away from the epicenter.
Alright. Okay, so you go around to that, that's fine. Okay, so at this point I assume the barrel is deep enough to actually fit snugly in the hole. You notice that the tentacles seem to be wrapping around the barrel and squeezing. They don't seem to have enough force to break the barrel, but they are kind of wrapping slowly around the edge of it.
I'm gonna shout in Wraith's direction, going, "Light the fuse!"
I'd move back first.
And then start running towards like the bunker as fast as possible.
How
And
deep's
if,
the bunker now? Has it got much deeper? Another couple inches, maybe?
It's got about maybe, let's say about a foot deep.
Oh, okay. And there's like a little pile of mud and rocks and turf in front of it.
I'm just gonna fetal position behind it, just like immediately jump in fetal position behind it. And if I can grab Juniper, I'm assuming Juniper is miles away from this.
I just imagine
Juniper's just I like the idea of...
I think Juniper's fallen asleep.
I was going to say Juniper's found a butterfly and is just off chasing it.
I was wondering if she's just like batting at the saplings as they grew.
I have no brain cells left, I'm sorry.
It's alright.
You need more sleep.
Sleep, what's that? Is she single?
Can't but hope.
Well, from around the corner, Wraith has got his head popped around. He goes, "Well, if you're sure," and he casts a little fireball directly at the ground where the end of the trail of gunpowder is.
Oh, okay.
You want me to roll, or is it just close enough?
You're close enough, and as soon as you miss, you just keep going with it. So you shunk into the black powder. The black powder burns relatively quickly towards the barrel. As it gets closer and closer to the barrel, you hear the definite sounds of something knowing what this is and trying to do something about it.
That's a vague yet menacing sentence.
Mm.
Have the villagers dug a bit deeper yet?
No. Maybe about a couple of centimeters, but not much more.
Okay, well, I'm going to
They-
tell
they
them to
seem
hit
to
the
keep-
deck.
They seem to keep thinking you want the entire thing dug out, so they're focusing on like going along rather than down.
Alright, well, never mind. I'm going to tell them to hit the deck behind the pile of mud so they don't get hit by the flying bits of barrel. And hope for the best, I guess.
Continuing to peer around the corner, did Wraith see or hear, like, what was this thing that might be trying to mess with Fuse?
It just sounds like a sort of, you know, the kind of when a creature realizes that something's happening, it has that kind of like, and just kind of has a realization of what it is, but can't seem to do anything about it. It's kind of like that kind of noise.
Can I pinpoint where that was coming from?
From the hole.
From the hole itself. Okay.
Oh, Bruno, we're so sorry.
Wraith pulls a confused face, sees everybody ducking down, and goes, "Brace yourselves!" and then pops his head back around the corner.
There's a massive explosion. Pieces of plant fly everywhere throughout the sky. It leaves a gigantic hole in the ground.
How far away are we flung?
By the time it explodes, the whole ground, basically up to where the bunker is, has fallen into this quite deep hole.
Blimey.
But maybe, let's say about 10, 15 feet deep.
Oh my god.
That's what happens when you explode most of a barrel of black powder. So there's this massive hole, and the bottom of the massive hole. Yep, the bottom of the massive hole seems to be what looks like a weird fleshy coloured like, octopus creature that looks like its arms were the roots.
Bruno?
There is no Bruno. Bruno has been somewhat disintegrated, I think.
Atomized.
Bruno went quickly.
So I don't wanted.
I'm gonna point to the villagers and just say, in my most sort of, passive-aggressive tone, see that? That's what I was trying to get you to do. That is the depth that this should have been. It's only about a foot. Dreadful.
Okay.
As I peer over the little ledge that has now been created, and my ears have stopped ringing from the explosion, I'm just going to aim very carefully and shoot this thing with a lightning bolt.
Okay. Roll magic. You miss by quite a fair margin, but you do distract the creature, and you seem to sort of break out of its the slumber that seems to have been caused by the sort of stupor that was caused by the massive ground exploding, and you see that what looks like one of the largest tentacles, one nearest the village, pull back, and this tentacle must be easily 50 meters long.
Well, that's good, I guess. Can I run to the various piles of burning plant matter and grab like a fairly solid wooden thing that's on fire and throw it into the pit
Wooden
and
thing?
encourage? Because they had some wood that they were using as
Oh
shovels.
yeah.
Maybe it's like the woody part of the trees that they were trying to burn. Something on fire and unlikely to not be on fire immediately if I move it. And then I'm just going to throw it into the hole towards the creature. I'm going to rally the townsfolk as best I can, try and convince them to do the same.
Okay. Roll.
What am I
Roll
rolling?
strength to throw it.
Oh god. Okay, so it's going to miss, but I'm hoping that I've at least encouraged the townsfolk to also fill this hole with burning debris in the hope that this weird octopus thing is going to cop it.
You hurl the bit of wood into the pit. It lands a fair distance away from the creature. The villagers. Let's see. Do the villagers realise what you're doing? No, the villagers don't realise what you're doing. And one of them goes, "I don't mean to bother you, but that's a bit untidy. That we had it nice and tidy in this pile over here. Now you're throwing it in there."
I think we should make one big pile in the hole to help fill it in, and then it'll be easier later on.
Natural one.
Is
They
that good or
immediately
bad?
start arguing with you.
Oh, for God's sake!
They immediately start arguing with you that you've already come in and made this huge hole in their land, and now you want to fill it in. Can you just make your mind up what you want to do?
I pat Victor on the shoulder and I'm like, this is what happens. When you argue with locals.
Okay, fine.
Wraith pops out from behind the corner and has heard all of this taking place and kind of lumbers up to everyone and goes, Hold on. I happen to be a lawyer. I arbitrate these kind of things.
Oh,
God.
Lawyer, there's a lawyer here. Anyone got any bread? And one of them immediately runs forward and offers you a very half-eaten loaf.
Oh, thank you very much. Much obliged. It's good you know the customs, but no time for bread right now. This man has an excellent plan. See that thing down in the hole there? And he looks in, having heard everybody talking about things, and catches a glance of this abomination.
All you really see is like a sort of large fleshy lump with a quite vicious-looking beak at the top of it.
See that thing down there? We've got to get rid of it. Grab things on fire. He's got a great idea. Go quickly. And I would like to see if I can
Lawyer your way out of
turn
it.
the tide here.
I like all the lore that we've added to Dragon Age. Like lawyers are paid in bread.
Fabric in
There's it. Yeah. The law thing is probably my favorite thing.
Right. Let's see.
Such deep lore.
What am I rolling for here?
Let me just see what they do. Okay. You just do a roll as well. Just a plain D20 roll. We'll see what happens.
You should
Yeah,
add another skill to the roster that says law.
Law.
We've already got law, but now we have law.
No, I don't have law.
I got a 9.
So yes, you try and convince them to start putting the burning, but they misinterpret this, because of course they do, as just put anything on fire in there. So they start trying to scoop up like the smouldering tar and throw it into the pit. And anything basically that's even slightly singed, they start throwing into the pit.
Close enough. I mean,
think
it's not great, but it's close enough.
Yeah, I think that by now I'm just going to go like, we have to do this ourselves, and start like running to the flaming bits and getting like pieces of fence or whatever, and just like trying to like chuck it as far and push it into the hole.
I'm gonna grab it off of you and throw it in myself and say, "Do some magic, man."
Right, at this point you hear the sort of scraping sound, and as you look into the pit you notice the creature is slowly dragging itself towards the edge of the pit.
Blast it with everything you've got. I'm gonna run and get some more burning stuff to chuck in the hole.
I'll try and keep it at bay.
I'm gonna shoot lightning at it.
Alright, roll lightning. Yep, you shunk it with lightning. It emits it seems to be stunned for a second, then emits a very high-pitched shriek.
It's working! Wraith, more fire!
At this point, the one of the tentacles again just pulls itself. You feel the ground beneath you like shake as this tentacle seems to pull itself free from the ground beneath you.
Well, maybe it's better if I keep it in one place. And Wraith casts Thorn Roots at the creature.
Okay.
I like the idea
Roll.
of it's like trying to climb up the hill and then rolls back down each time we throw something on fire at it, and it's bonk.
A 10.
So, yep, you watch your roots come up and start sort of wrapping around it best that they can. They don't seem to be that tight. It does seem to sort of squelch its way through it, but it makes it take a lot longer.
Root Wars.
Root Wars.
Root problems require root solutions.
Call
I'm
for
gonna
the
keep-
vagabond.
I'm gonna keep pelting it with lightning, seeing as much as I can, like, kind of burn off.
Okay. Roll.
Yeah, ideally we want to char it as much as possible, don't we? Because otherwise it's going to just leak blood into the soil.
Yep, your lightning bolt seems to sever a massive tentacle from it. Very thick black blood oozes out of it.
It doesn't cauterize the tentacle immediately? No. Oh, okay.
I'm going to try and scoop up a big old wad of flaming pitch and toss it towards the ichor coming out of the thingy.
Alright, roll your strength.
Oh, I was hoping it'd be Dex. Wah. I mean, there's not much difference, to be perfectly honest. It's 1 point, so... Roll d20... +2.
Yep.
It's plausible.
You just hurl some pitch into the thing. It splats onto the side of the creature. It seems to still be sort of slightly on fire. The creature doesn't seem to care about being on fire.
At least, hopefully, I've slightly stopped the bleeding. Even if it's just a little bit, you know.
I look at Wraith and I go, maybe it's time to try that thing again you tried before, but this time, maybe not at us. At that. Freeze it.
Okay. And Wraith casts chill on the creature.
Alright, roll.
And again.
Again, it seems to... You notice that it seems to emit a large sort of... When it shrieks this time, you see where its breath comes, so its body must have chilled a fair amount. Just not enough to freeze it solid.
Keep trying, you're doing good. It's hurting it.
Was the location of the breath coming out like a big orifice? Like something
it seems to
so
be
we can throw
like
something into it?
where the beak is. It seems to be quite deep below. Like the beak, for example, say is at the top, and it's like actually beneath, directly beneath, rather than off to a side. That's this steam seems to come out of.
Okay.
So you vaguely know where the sort of breath orifice is.
I'd like to keep trying to cover any particularly bleedy looking patches on it with pitch. You know, just get like a bit of wood as a makeshift thing to pick up flaming pitch and just in the blood's general direction. More strength rolls, I imagine.
Yep.
I'm hoping to win this by quantity of pitch rather than quality, because I'm not very strong. As is
You
evidenced by
hurl the
my roll.
next, then you look down at your hands and realise that your hands are a singed, blistered mess.
Yeah. It's gonna be hard playing the loot, isn't it? Maybe there's some, like, I don't know, moon wart or something that I could put on them.
I'm gonna ask, like, wherever the pitch is, I'm going to do something uncharacteristically stupid for Vincenzo. I'm going to get some pitch on the captain's cutlass that I have, and then slide down the incline towards the creature and try and go for its mouth, the beak, when it opens up.
Alright.
Vincenzo, you madman!
Add your... Let's say add your intelligence and your dex. Let's see where we end up with this.
So you mean that's what I roll with, like the both of them?
Yep.
Okay.
Ooh, a double modifier. That's a rare.
Okay. You put the pitch on your sword, you slide down, and then you try and stab into the beast. You immediately hit a very thick, hefty sort of lump of sinew, and you can't really sort of penetrate into it. But the creature emits another violent hiss, and you feel beneath your feet another tentacle retracting from underneath the earth.
I shout at Wraith, going like, more fire, and I kind of jump to the other side of the creature so that I'm behind it.
Race winces, takes aim as carefully as he can down the line of his staff, and fires off a firebolt.
Alright, roll.
12.
Yep, it just sunks into the side of the creature. The creature just, again, just... It seems kind of to turn more towards you than it was facing... It was facing Vincenzo and seems to turn a bit more towards you than Vincenzo.
Ah, that's great. Because the next thing I do want to do is basically, while I'm holding the captain's cutlass, touch the other hand to the metal part of the cutlass and cast lightning.
Okay.
Mm.
Roll. Is that so you're touching the creature and your...
I'm touching the blade so that it like kind of goes in. The lightning conducts through the blade.
So you haven't pulled the blade out of the creature?
No, it's just stuck in there.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that
roll,
give you...
roll your magic.
That should give a +1 at least.
There is a massive explosion.
I lose my hand.
Can...
Do you want to? Should I roll on the injury table?
Do you have dodge roll?
Nope.
Okay, just do a normal
Okay.
d20 without anything. And
Like
you're
I
just-
said, it was a very drastic roll.
the creature is very much exploded.
Ah,
That's definitely an injury.
that's bad. That's real bad.
Let's have a look. What do you get?
Is there a
have-
tainted thing on the injury table?
Nine.
Or corrupted, perhaps?
Not yet. Your right arm, which does make sense, canonically. 8. What is 8? 8 is bleeding. To what degree is it bleeding? 3. You've managed to escape with a substantially shredded arm. It's bleeding in about 8 different places. It's been properly sliced open by what looks like some sort of internal parts of this creature. But your arm is still intact.
Maybe it's the beak. Like chunks
Maybe
of the beak.
it could be the beak. It could also be the cutlass exploding because of the conduction. But like that's all.
Could be that. But hey, you killed it.
Did the
Yeah, and I
cutlass
have, like,
survive? No, the cutlass is also shattered. So
Aw.
the hilt is there. There's bits of it lying everywhere else. Let's just assume that there was bits of the cutlass that have sliced through your arm.
I look at my arm and go, "Ow!"
I might regret the question, but Wraith was looking over the pit when this happened.
Oh, no.
Was he quick enough to react? Should I roll for that, maybe?
You,
Just use some villagers as
Do-
cover.
do you have dodge roll?
I don't have dodge roll.
Just a
Alright,
D20.
do a D20 and we'll see where this goes. You have a...
11.
Yeah, you're fine.
Cool. So Wraith kind of,
You
like,
lose your
shields
balance.
himself in the
You lose your
back.
balance and fall over, but you don't get hit by anything enough to cause injury.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. A man his age falling over can be dangerous.
He's landed on his ass. Oh! He pulls himself quickly back up and on his knees kind of looks over the edge and sees Vincenzo kind of waving faintly through the smoke and presumably bits and pieces of this thing that's been exploded. Oh, Vincenzo! And he kind of pulls himself up, barrels down the hill as fast as he can, and quickly kind of like skids to a halt. Let me help! And he casts heal.
Okay. So, yeah, Apto's going to have... You could just heal up Vincenzo's arm relatively alright. He has massive scars, like almost in like... kind of like one of those like... Not tribal, what are they called? The sort of strange like block tattoos, if you remember. But it's like that, but it's like lines down your arm and then lines down your forearm as well. They're almost... If you didn't
Yeah,
know,
it
you would
look-
probably think it was some sort of tattoo work rather than just scars.
Have you guys seen like Full Metal Alchemist? It's what like transmuted stuff looks like,
Mm-hmm.
like little block patterns. All of
Yeah. So yes, Vincenzo's arm has been saved. He hasn't lost. Surprisingly, didn't lose anything in that one, but he did lose the compass. The compass, cutlass.
cutlass. Oh no, the captain's cutlass, but it was used for a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can
Is
take,
this creature now like gone?
yes.
Like
There's
gone?
there's like chunks where it seems to still have connected to the roots, but apart from them shuddering slightly, it is completely gone.
Looking around at the decimation, Wraith turns to Vincenzo. Well, that was quite the act there. I'm impressed.
Just thought I thought of Grim. You know, remember him from the first village?
Oh, yes. I mean, I'm glad it turned out better than that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let me help you.
I'm just too distracted by the tattoos. I'm like, oh, these look nice. This will make a good story.
Oh, yeah,
I'm internally like thinking, how can this be made into a song? Because that was cool as hell. Maybe I should stick around with these guys.
We'll make our way back up the edge then and get out of this pit.
Alright.
And
So you make your way back towards the inn. You notice at this point that you hear some sort of giggling from upstairs in the inn, and you remember Frankie has not noticed anything has happened. Frankie. It's not Frankie. Ruth has not noticed anything has happened. One day I will realise why I'm calling Amy's character Frankie again. I think it's because I've got Descent on the brain. I was talking about
But didn't Amy play the character?
Yeah,
Frankie?
Amy also played Frankie, who's basically the same character.
I think that's why that's happening.
Yep. But yes.
I mean, I'm surprised. You know, I know.
So,
you know, there's some quite loud bangs and crashes, and
I mean,
the whole village
I think
forming a
in more ways
riot.
in more ways than one, loud bangs and crashes.
I think
I also like to think that Ruth, who used to normally shirk away from like all this, like especially when we had them visit the brothel, after all that, I think they've gone through a character arc of some sort.
I think they've basically just become Frankie, and that's why I'm getting them mixed up. But yeah, so as you sort of take a seat back in the tavern, and you still hear giggling from upstairs, and the villagers, so you notice at the window, the villagers are slowly going back to how they were. We'll call it there. I was going to have something else happen, but we'll call it there, and we'll continue this next time.
I was gonna say this bottle of Dr. Collins Miracle Grow.
Yeah.
I am now quite curious about who this Dr. Collins is and what they are doing with chopped up stuff.
yeah,
Chopped up stuff, and why that chopped up stuff is still alive.
Firstly, Amy's gonna hate you.
Mm-hmm.
But secondly, I'd like to, once I've, maybe got my breath back a bit from all the action, just sort of stabilize myself, I'd like to go out and sort of try and organize the villagers to, burn any evil-looking remains. Because I saw the thing in that pit and I did not like it. And yes, villagers are idiots by and large, but so am I, or so was I, for a while at least.
I think Wraith would probably help with this as well. Just again, putting on the false lawyer robes, as it were, trying to add weight to the argument if needed.
Yeah, just sterilize, cleanse. Well, we can't really cleanse it as such, but we can burn it as much as possible, and then any last traces we put at the bottom of the pit, and then cover in rocks, and then cover that with the burning pitch, and then cover that with the soil and turf, and hope that that's enough to allow it to diffuse over the next few years until there's none left.
I'd like to think that it'd be hilarious if the Blightspawn were defeated by law. Like if we just argued the case, we were like, no, you can't take this place. We live here. You can't take this.
Ultimately,
according to subsection D of the Darkspawn Invasion Protocol, you are not allowed to take this place until the time is passed.
How do you remember all these rules and regulations? I have regular bread. Alright, well...
I like the idea that it could be the other way as well. You also have a lawyer arguing for the Darkspawn. True lawyer. The only winner in this world is lawyers.
I honestly just hear that in the style of the zombie voice from Saints Row. Yes, well, that's a very intriguing point you've got there. Alright, well, we should wind that up for there today. So, first we'll start with the affiliate stuff. We have an affiliate with two fantastic companies. We have an affiliate with dndice.co.uk, so if you need more wonderful plastic and metal dice, go over to dndice.co.uk, enter Penance RPG, and you will get 10% off your order. You can buy amazing dice there. There are some really beautiful ones come up. One day I will just have a picture of some dice when we do this bit, and I'll be like, look at these dice, they're wonderful. When I'm not sleep deprived, I'll be doing that. And then the other one is 20% off Gemhammer and Sons Gaming. Gemhammer and Sons do things like the Deck of Many Things, Deck of Wonders, Deck of Spells, all sorts of great stuff to augment your game. So if you're doing stuff and want a couple of new ideas, it's fantastic. Check them out. They do some amazing stuff. We've done series with them before. Check out, like, I think it was Dark, the series we did, where we just drew from the deck and just sort of augmented it to make a sort of really random game. So yeah, we'll check them out. As for everyone else here, Mr. Eden is streaming over at, if I remember right, are you doing any streams soon, Mr. Eden?
I'll be doing more Clone Hero next Saturday, taking steps closer and closer to the Golden Hot Pants. We'll see, eventually, one day.
Alright, and Shiraz, though I can't do a shout out because you don't use Twitter, do you, Shiraz? Not Twitter. Twitch.
I'm Dice Seeds Art on Twitter as well. I think I'm Dice Seeds on Twitch as well.
Oh, cool.
But I don't stream yet. Maybe in the future.
Twitter.com/DiceSeeds. Hopefully spelling this right. I'm sure you can tell me if I fucked that up. All good? Cool. Yes, check out Shiraz over there. He does amazing, genuinely amazing artwork. The boy is incredibly talented. Genuinely incredibly talented. I love his stuff. But yes, our next streams will be Monday night. It's tomorrow night. Mr. Greg is back doing his DM tale, which will have Mr. Eden here.
Indeed.
And won't have Amy because Amy's still away at a Hindu, so I don't think she's back tomorrow. So it should be Mr. Eden. It should be Mr. Goldclay and Dragon. I keep forgetting Dragon is cast and not DM. It should be that. Should be tomorrow. Then Tuesday night with myself and Mr. Tom doing Bartram with Meow and Zeph. Then afterwards we'll be doing some indie horror. Wednesday with myself and Bellery doing something. We haven't decided what yet. Then Thursday more indie horror from me. And then Friday Raft again with Mr. Tom. And then after Raft we'll be probably playing Ghost Watchers again because it was silly, stupid fun. We can't dig it. So yes, that's our next stream. Thank you very much, folks, for watching along today. If you enjoyed, as always, chuck us the fantastic follow because it does help us out. And yeah, we will find someone to raid. So I'll put it up to you folks. Would you rather raid? Let's see who's on. I say would you rather raid? There's only one person on, and they're playing Green Hell. So I think we're going to go and watch someone play Green Hell.
Sounds good.
It's Trio. Trio is a fellow Scottish streamer. She does a lot of horror and survival games. She does a lot of DayZ, a couple of things like that. So yeah, check her out. She's more than worth your time. So while we set up the raid to go and see Trio, we will just say good night, take care, and catch us next time. Waving time.
Bye.
More mindless waving. More mindless waving.